Developed by Irrational and published by 2K Games, Bioshock is a uniquely original action-adventure science fiction shooter powered by a heavily modified Unreal Engine. Originally released in 2007, the title quickly solidified its position among the greatest games ever made, scoring an impressive 96 out of 100 on the Metascale, while currently enjoying a very positive on Steam, a 4 out of 5 on GOG, and a 9.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Bioshock would get a fresh coat of paint and a patch in 2016 when it was released again in HD with the inclusion of additional content and a director's commentary, the latter appearing as collectible reels of film scattered throughout the game's various levels, offering players the option to watch now or save for later. For anyone interested in behind-the-scenes style content, tracking these commentaries down is a worthwhile endeavor. Listening to Ken Levine and Sean Robertson talk about the making of Bioshock from conception to shipment is both interesting and enlightening. What started out as a simple concept involving drones and a desirable resource, the game suffered through various manifestations and hilarious iterations before finally being rescued by its own environment. Having explored several variations of isolated locations, the team eventually found a concept they could work with. This approach lent itself well to world building as the team began to flesh out an original story, adding population to the environment according to why on earth anyone would be there in the first place. The sprawling underwater city was founded in 1940 by one Andrew Ryan, an eccentric business magnate loosely based on John D. Rockefeller Jr., and possibly a dash of Walt Disney, though fans of Ayn Rand will certainly feel the John Galt vibes. Ryan is more than that, of course, being a combination of Rand characters and Rand herself, according to Levine. Resentful of government overreach and petty morality, Ryan built his city on the ocean floor, feeling it was impossible for him to build it anywhere else. While art and science were given the breathing room necessary to thrive in Rapture, the novelty of utopia soon wore off as the population settled into their respective stratum. Peace and prosperity gave way to class struggle and inequality, escalating to the point of violent conflict as Rapture descended into full-scale civil war. Drawing on multiple sources of inspiration, including Greek mythology, romantic realism, and even the doors of Orwellian perception, Bioshock explores complex and provocative themes, though it manages to do this without being overwhelming or condescending. Instead, the team opted to focus on quality gameplay, allowing players to discover the story for themselves. Written and directed by Ken Levine with help from everyone else on the team, Bioshock boasts an all-star cast of A-list actors, including Armin Shimmerman as Andrew Ryan, Juliet Landau as the Little Sisters, Greg Baldwin as Frank Fontaine, and Anne Bobby as Bridget Tenenbaum, among others. Players are introduced to Rapture in the year 1960, shortly after the city was reduced to dystopian nightmare fuel. In order to defend themselves from the chaos of depravity, gamers will have to rely on upgrades, not only to the various weapons found throughout the campaign, but also to their person. Acquiring and mastering the use of plasmids is an integral part of the gameplay loop, as well as the story itself. This is something Bioshock does very well. Each and every facet of the game is masterfully woven together for an unforgettable experience that certainly needs no introduction or explanation from the likes of me. If for whatever reason you have not had the pleasure, I highly recommend this title, as it truly is a classic, and it is no exaggeration to say it really is one of the greatest games ever made. One of the many things that make Bioshock special is the quality of production itself. Both the classic and remastered version are absolutely gorgeous, and whether one is a fan or not, it's hard to deny that even in 2025, Bioshock looks just as good, if not better, than most new releases. In spite of having very story-driven gameplay and plot twist revelations, Bioshock maintains a relatively higher replay value than other titles due to its scope and beauty. One visit was never going to be enough to fully explore and behold everything Rapture has to offer, because rather than just being about tension and conflict between characters, Bioshock tells the story of a city, and that city is a fascinating place to explore. Rapture is a living place with purpose and personality. The world of Bioshock is full of rich and intriguing lore, readily accessible to anyone willing to find it. The gameplay loop no longer feels revolutionary, as every developer and their monkey has begged, borrowed, and stolen from Bioshock over the years, but at the time it was revolutionary, and because of that, it does still add to the replay value. Bioshock is simply fun to play. I think this is one of the reasons Singularity wasn't well received. After playing Bioshock, Singularity either feels like a Johnny-come-lately or old news, in spite of being released 2 years later. better. But as I stated in the Singularity video, that game was trying to do something very different. Bioshock is a much deeper, more thoughtful experience that challenges players to critical thinking. It's the kind of game players continue to think about long after they've finished the campaign. Upon being thrust into a desperate and dystopian world, players are slowly introduced to the game's mechanics and dark economics. After finding a pipe wrench, players are given their first plasmid, a genetic alteration allowing them to send the lightnings. Both weapons and plasmids come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and effect, everything from heat-seeking missiles to sending swarms of bees after enemies, all of which are fully upgradable and/or interchangeable, as Bioshock features a ridiculous amount of weapons, ammo types, skills, abilities, and perks, though none of them are free and the cost of some is greater than others, as not all of them can be purchased using cash. Additional genetic alterations include things like body armor, increased damage, and the ability to hack systems or avoid detection more efficiently. Players can also use a camera to research foes, craft certain items at the You Invent It machine, smoke cigarettes, and drink alcohol, and not just for the sake of doing so. All of these things have some effect on the character as well as the run, making exploration quite rewarding while increasing the replay value of a game that's deceptively larger and deeper than it might appear. Bioshock is currently available for absurdly low prices on GOG at the moment for those looking to pick up a copy, whether having played it or not, though there was some discussion about crashes and certain settings not taking. I haven't experienced any problems with the game over the years, but I mostly attribute that to using the offline backup installers and not launching my games through the Galaxy app. In preparation for this video, I did have to install the original 2007 release and had to manually change the resolution, as classic defaults to 1440, and attempting to change it in the options menu hung the game. Changing it through the default file solved my issue, and I had no further problems running it. I've played through the remastered version countless times over the years, as it's one of the few games I never uninstall, and I've never had problems with it. After many years and 3 different rigs, Bioshock has become a permanent fixture on my desktop, and it's probably the only first-person shooter I would still recommend even at full price. Mostly because that's how much I paid for it, but I digress. It's a steal for $5, and you'll want to freshen up those skills for when Bioshock 4 drops next year, or so we hope. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider joining me again in the next one for a look at Alpha Protocol. As always, if you made it this far, happy gaming and thanks for watching.